Welcome to Pod Key NFL, where quarterback makeovers and contender debates are already getting lively. Week 1 always arrives, carrying a suitcase full of theories, and within a few hours, half of them are going to look brilliant or ridiculous. This year, the biggest questions sit at quarterback, in crowded divisions, and on a handful of offensive lines that could decide everything. A lot of established quarterbacks are walking into meaningful change in 2026. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels, and plenty of others are being asked to operate in systems with new rhythms and new answers. Baltimore is especially fascinating. Lamar is being pushed toward quicker progressions, synchronized footwork, and more throws arriving on time. If it clicks, it strengthens his case for a historic extension in the neighborhood of $70 million per year. Kyler Murray in Minnesota has a cleaner assignment. Give a likely playoff roster, competent, durable quarterback play. His mobility still creates defensive problems that very few quarterbacks can create, and a strong season could put him atop the 2027 free agent quarterback market. Then there's Drake May, whose breakout deserves a little context. New England had an extraordinarily friendly schedule in 2025, and May showed trouble against looks such as cover 6. Year 2 will tell us how much was real growth and how much was a favorable runway. Daniel Jones coming off an Achilles injury, Mahomes after his own physical limitations, Murray in a new role, May facing tougher answers. Those are the Week 1 mystery boxes. One game won't settle them, though it can change the conversation in a hurry. The contender exercise starts with a fixed 10-team table, with room to remove teams or bring one back later through a designated soapbox argument. That structure matters because September can make everybody overly cautious. The basic principle is sound. Prioritize teams that have already shown elite play over teams whose case depends on a string of optimistic assumptions. The Rams, Seahawks, Bills, Ravens, and Patriots form a strong foundation, with the usual arguments around efficiency, quarterback play, and an 11-win kind of ceiling. Kansas City remains the ultimate institutional trust team because Patrick Mahomes has earned it. The Chiefs had aging stars in Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, a rebuilt secondary, uncertain receiver development, and a tougher AFC West ahead. Yet when Mahomes played last season, Kansas City ranked 5th in offensive EPA per play. Better offensive line health, a Kenneth Walker-led running game with more juice, and Eric Bieniemy's return could give that offense more structure. Mahomes doesn't erase every concern. He does raise the baseline in a way almost nobody else can. Denver may be the most interesting market disagreement. A playoff team that finished 12th in offensive EPA per play sat around 13th in Super Bowl odds, which feels low to some observers. Jalen Waddle could add real deep ball consistency and fit beautifully alongside Courtland Sutton. The Broncos still need Bo Nix healthy after 2 ankle surgeries, more from the run game, and better injury luck up front. Their defense and improved passing game potential give them a credible route to 11 wins. The NFC is compressed too. Detroit gets the edge over Philadelphia in some rankings because its offense has a clearer route back to elite production, even after coordinator and offensive line turbulence. Philadelphia's defense remains strong enough to keep the Eagles firmly in the picture. Dallas earned a final contender table spot in one debate because its offense could become one of football's best, while the defense has several believable paths to improvement through coaching changes and personnel, such as Quentin Williams. The Rams are still pushing hard for a Super Bowl under Sean McVay, and Matthew Stafford's health sits at the center of it all. There's little margin for a lengthy Stafford absence. Aaron Donald's possible return, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua's rehab complications, a brutal schedule, and Seattle as defending division champion all make this a high-ceiling, high-stress bet. Division compression is a recurring theme, especially in the AFC West. Kansas City, Denver, and the Chargers all have credible cases, which means genuinely good teams could face a difficult playoff road or miss the tournament entirely. Houston's Super Bowl argument begins with its defense. The hope is a unit so dominant that it can carry an offense still building through interior line additions, a better tight end room, David Montgomery, and more familiarity between C.J. Stroud and Nick Holtz. Buffalo in Week 1 is an immediate test. Houston also lost promising receiver Jaden Higgins, so the offense needs progress while the defense does its heavy lifting. The 2015 Broncos remain a useful reminder that a great defense can power a title run, provided the offense keeps moving enough. Baltimore and Pittsburgh are among the schematic teams to watch. Jesse Minter's Ravens are exploring simulated pressures, big nickel looks, and matchup man coverage. Patrick Graham could bring more disguise and creative pressure usage to Pittsburgh. Pressure up the middle remains where offenses tend to come apart. The Chargers carry that concern with Rashawn Slater, returning from a patellar tendon injury, and Tyler Biadasz absent. Pittsburgh is adjusting to more vertical protections, and Denver's line health remains a major variable. Seattle versus New England offers fresh coaching and personnel wrinkles. Houston versus Buffalo gives us defense against offense in a game with real early stakes. Colts versus Baltimore puts Daniel Jones's Achilles recovery under a bright light. These games are high information and high noise at the same time. Enjoy the overreactions. Just save a little room for the fact that football teams can look wildly different in October. For fantasy drafts, Christian McCaffrey's top 5 price carries real risk after heavy workloads, age, injuries, and concerning 2025 rushing indicators. Saquon Barkley, meanwhile, may be discounted too far after an Eagles season shaped by line injuries and broader dysfunction. A practical draft approach is to favor proven players on teams likely to score, resist expensive mid-round running back speculation, and look for wideout upside in names like A.J. Brown, Chris Olave, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, and George Pickens. Looking ahead, the 2027 quarterback class has rare volume and star power, led by Arch Manning and Dante Moore. The key question is how many of the next tier, including C.J. Carr, Lenoris Sellers, Drew Meesmaker, and Darian Mensah, turn talent into true first-round profiles. Jeremiah Smith headlines the receiver group as a potentially franchise-altering prospect, while Dylan Stewart and Colin Simmons lead a compelling edge class. The running back group could be deep enough for 3 first-rounders, with K'Wan Lacey, Jaden Boff, and Ahmad Hardy setting the pace. That's the landscape heading into the possibility window. Plenty of talent, plenty of pressure, and plenty of theories waiting for live football. Thanks for listening to Podkey NFL. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.